Hello everyone, I am Unicorn Sushi, and today I have brought my favorite book to share with you. Emmy Wild Animal Talker. Now I'm only gonna read 5 pages once because it's long. We'll split it anyway. Let me start at this Wild Animal Talker story. Who's Emmy? Emmy's this one. Here. Let me start. The Claimer King Clan. This dog is Hilton. Emmy. Aston. Plateau. Isambard. Bum. Willow. Chapter 1. Fetch, called Emmy wild as she threw the stick as far as she could across the beach. Hilton and Karen, the Cairn Terrier, bounded after it. Emmy watched him go. Then a noise attracted her attention. She looked up into the sky and spotted a helicopter flying across the sea towards Clamerkin Island. Page 5. Look at that as Hilton dropped the stick at her feet. I'll be lower.
It will be
low over the harbor soon, and it's getting lower all the time. I think it's going to land. It'll come down in the sports field, but Hilton. Let's go and watch. He abounded his stick and raced off across the sand. Emmy ran after him, but the steps to the seafront and along a narrow lane. They reached the field as the helicopter hovered overhead. She could see it more clearly now, and for the first time she noticed the red cross painted on its side. It matched the one on the ambulance. Waiting in the corner of the field, a small crowd had gathered a respectful distance from the vehicle to see what was happening. A grubby tabby cat sat beside them, gazing at the machine in the sky. Wonderful things, helicopters, he said, as Emmy and Hilton walked up to him. And any other human would have thought he was just meowing, but didn't. But Emmy didn't. Thanks to her magic necklace, she wore around her neck. She could understand every word he said. She bent down and stroked the cat's head. Hello, Isambard. I thought you'd be here. The helicopter's engines roared as it came down to earth. Just listen to all the power, Isambard shouted above the noise. We haven't got much choice, barked Hilton. The blast from the rattles blew his hair flat against his face and tugged at Emmy's t-shirt and jeans. As soon as the wheels touched the ground, the helicopter's engines throttled back, and the rotor blinders swirled. Isambard watched the marching with adoring eyes, but Emmy was more interested in the stretcher being lifted from the ambulance. Lying on it was a boy with curly red hair. Emmy recognized him instantly. "It's Tom Breck. He's in my class." She waved at him, but Tom didn't wave back. He lay motionless as the paramedics ran across the grass with the stretcher. He still didn't move when they lifted it into the helicopter. Tom's mom and dad climbed into, and the crew shut the door behind them. Then the engineers roared again, and the helicopter lifted off. Isambard purred with delight as he watched it fly into the distance.
The engines.
Emmy felt more anxious. She was used to seeing Tom hurtling around the playground playing football. He looked so different on the stretcher. So quiet and pale. Was he going to be all right? Emmy still didn't know the answer to quite question.
Didn't know the answer
to that question when she got to school. The next day, she soon discovered that none of her classmates did either. Her teacher, Mrs. Damson, waited until everyone had sat down at their desks. Then she clapped her hands for silence. "I expect most of you know that Tom was flown to hospital on the mainland yesterday. He hurt himself badly when he fell out of a tree." 有点像佛佑哥哥。这个已经那个。
I'll feel the okay. 还没有，前面一点还没读完。
有。
No. Okay. The last one.
"So that's what happened to him," said Ainston, the school cat, as he rubbed himself against Emmy's legs. "Isambard told me about the helicopter. I thought he might," whispered Emmy. Her voice was so quiet that only the white Persian cat could hear her. Her ability to talk to animals was a secret she didn't want discovered. "Tom's going to be fine," continued Mrs. Danson, as she pulled a large get-well card from her bag. But he's broken his leg. and had a nasty bump on his head, so I thought you might like to sign this to cheer him up." Her suggestion won a chorus of approval from the class. The room went quiet for a while as the card was passed around. Then Mrs. Damson started talking again. "While you're doing that, we can decide what our class is going to do at school fair." Mrs. Plimpton has agreed that we can give all the money we raise to the ambulance to say thank you for helping. Okay, we come back to Unicorn Talking. This was a lovely story. We haven't finished it though. I'll read more tomorrow. Good night, everyone. Bye-bye.